Hello, gaming tankers. I'm back with a more analytical film. Well, let's analytical maybe a strong word for what my usual quality of video is. So but it'll work. First, before I get too far into this video, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers I've gotten over the past 2 months. Great to see these numbers climb. I think I'm at 37 subscribers today. And could I ask you guys to, of course, like and subscribe? And could you share? I'd really like to see by the end of this year this channel grow to 50 subscribers. That'd be greatly appreciated. And obviously, comment down below. Well, you might have a lot to comment down below with this video, but please comment down below what you like about this channel or what you think could use some improvements. I know I have a list for that, but only time will tell where that goes. Now, for this video, we have to remember that the world exists in gray. Well, as you get older, you realize how bland everything's becoming color-wise. But I mean more of a... we don't have solid rules, and there's a give and take, and... well, we kind of bend the rules for this tank, but we don't for this one. It's a bit weird and wonky. It's all for the sake of making enjoyable gameplay, right? So we have to keep in mind, and really do keep this in mind, that in Cold War mode, in case you couldn't get a hint of where we are with the Jaguar Black Edition, that Era 1, the post-war era, starts from the late 1940s to mid-1950s. We don't have a solid beginning and ending, and then, for some whatever reason, we just lose 5 years. I guess there's somewhere in this. We go to Era 2, the escalation era, which is 1960s to 1970s. Why we can't have hard dates, I don't know, but we gotta have wiggle room. And then, of course, Era 3, the Détente era, 1980s to the 1990s. So, try to keep that in mind, and also remember, we have a gray periods of wiggle room and stuff, because the Jaguar Black, a lovely PLA Chinese tank that was based on the Type 59, about the Type 59D tank from China, which we have in Era 3 as a premium tank. And this is another premium tank. But as you can read, this tank, the Jaguar Black, was a joint effort between the America and China to help improve their, well, we'll call medium tanks, not really an MBT, because China had developed a more preferred MBT by that point. So, as you can read, and again, reminder, this was a joint effort to, for briefly, America and China were friends until a slight incident at a square, and then that fell apart. But what happened was the Type 59 tanks got improvements. And as you can see, this tank development period was from 1988, around that period, the end of the 80s. Yet, as I said, you may know, the Jaguar Black is an Era 2 tank. Why? Why does Era 2 need another medium tank? And despite the fact that, yes, kind of like how the Israelis took like T-62s, T-54, 5s, and M60s and improved them, that's kind of what happened here with the Type 59s. But the problem is, for whatever reason, Wargaming put this in Era 2 instead of Era 3, which would have worked, I think, better. It may have been a little slower, and we all know how speed does kill in Era 3. That having this as like as a mid to long range thing that could take incoming fire from most of the MBTs and mediums, well, maybe being a capable brawler, because Yeah, although, again, we can just tweak the numbers on the armor and the gun like they do for everything, because, again, this is based on a tank that's already in Era 3 with just more modern improvements, yet they put in Era 2, dumbed it down for Era 2, and in my opinion, have made it completely just tossed another tank into the ocean of medium tanks. It's a medium tank. Something you don't see a lot of in Era 3. So, it's frustrating to see such. I don't understand why this couldn't be an Era 3 tank. The price would have gone up, which may have been an influencing factor because this came out as part of the the 2023 Black bundle, new Black bundle, along with the Object 703 double-barreled Russian tank. And this on its own, the Jaguar Black, you have to say that because there's also the Jaguar Tank Destroyer, which may be also another reason why they kept it out of 3. But yeah, it was 7,000 gold on its own. That's cheap. I mean, it's on sale and stuff, but that was cheap for Era 2 even. And I guess they'd rather put more overpowered premium tanks in Era 3. Oh dear. Now this one would have just been a medium tank style playstyle in Era 3 that we would have all loved or hate. I love my T-59D, and having something that has more continuous and evenly distributed armor would be nice to have versus how the ERA armor on the Type 59D is a little bit good on the turret and just stuck on haphazardly on the top upper plate. So I really do wish this tank would be put in Era 3. It won't because it's been well balanced for Era 2. So now, if we're going to be playing Switcheroo, we need to talk about the tank that will be, in my mind, switching this. So we have to go to Era 3. And the tank in question is, yes, the Main Battle Tank 70, the MBT 70, a joint effort by America and Germany to counter the Russian IS tanks. There was a whole bunch of experimentation on the period, so who knows? No, mostly the T-72s and Type 62s, or T-62s, T-64s. And the thing is for some of you may remember, when the MBT-70 first came out, it was like one of the first premiums besides the Turner Classic Movie tank. This tank struggled because this development ended in the 1970s, like around 75. So this should be perfectly slotted for Era 2. Why they put it in Era 3, I don't know. I think they just needed premium tanks for Era 3 when Cold War first came out. But the thing is, it has a 152 millimeter barrel, but it's a launcher. So it's very similar to like the M62A2 and the Sheridan light tank in Era 2. It fires really devastating high alpha heat rounds, but they're heat. And that penetration on the standard round of 400, that was buffed. It was more of like around 350, 380 back in the day. And even now, with buffs to, I think, armor, obviously penetration, and maybe some speed, it still is, I guess, a more competent Era 3 main battle tank. But even with the armor and its speed, it can go forwards and backwards at the exact same speed. It would, in all honesty, without the buffs, you could take those off. It would have a much better playstyle and be more of a competent tank in Era 2. This would be the premium cousin to the M60A2. But it was placed in Era 3 for whatever reason. I just can only assume they needed premium tanks, and this was fresh off the presses. I don't know. But yeah, I'd rather switch this with the Jaguar, have a competent, well, semi-competent, or just at least more betterly armored Era 3 medium tank, and put a faster but also less damaging. It does fire ATGMs. It's just that's where I'd like to see the MBT-70. I think it would be far more enjoyable for everybody. So I got some more to say. We'll go to some gameplay footage. So as I've yet to get an MBT-70, I'm gonna. Oh, what is? Oh, come on! I just want to focus on two things, not every time. Oh, you just have to interject yourself in every damn Era 3 conversation. Yes, here we have the beloved or the well-appreciated Challenger 2. Oh, you're right. It's true. It is the most egregious bending of the rules and the deepest of the grays. Oh my God, I just cannot escape any conversation about Era 3 without the Challenger 2 coming. Hey, in the comments below, how much do you love the Challenger on a scale of 8 to 10? 8 being really love it, 10 to being I can't live without it. I wish it were my wife. I mean, my God, you cannot talk about Era 3. The Challenger comes up almost as much as any conversation about warfare involving a certain mustachioed Austrian. Oh, all right. Bring up the card. We'll talk about it. So yes, here we are with the Challenger 2, which, if you could please read the first line out loud. The Challenger 2, I'll introduce service in June of 1998. Wow. June of 1998. Gee, Wargaming, you couldn't get a precise date. You couldn't get the exact day yet, but yeah, it's so precise. Yes, so 98. The same year that got us the heart-wrenching and visually awe-inspiring Titanic. Same year that got us the heart-wrenching and insultingly dismal Godzilla. Well, that's aged better, but still. We also got the Challenger 2. For some of you, more eagle-eyed, would wonder why this is in the Cold War mode. Well, again, gray. So in the 1990s, clearly implies into 2000. Kind of makes you think that maybe they should just stick with World of Tanks, modern armor, instead of Cold War. Let's not dig up these old arguments. They flare up enough from time to time. But yes, here's one tank that probably shouldn't be in the game right now. It's not gonna go anywhere. It would fit wonderfully in Era 4, but it's the Challenger 2. And by God, if you're a true tank fan, you gotta love the Challenger 2. Even if you're not British. Even if you're European. Abrams what? Abrams who? Challenger 2. It's for all of you. Just more like a turd tinderbox, in my opinion. One of the few tanks I still run extinguisher on because it just likes to just catch fire. Those MBT-70 hit you rounds. They hurt. Yeah, they hurt. Yeah. So, guess we can't address the slight flaw in the era's system without bringing up the once god tier Challenger 2. Well, it still is because it's tech tree, but you know, certain overpowered Russian premium tanks have kind of. Yeah. All right, back to the action. So yeah, the MBT-70 would be a much more enjoyable tank in Era 2, where it doesn't have to deal with Challenger 2s. And then the Jaguar, or excuse me, the Jag Black would have to deal with the Challenger 2. But hey, the Jag Black has 70s gun pressure. And you know what? With the composited armor, and 2 layers of the armor on the turret, you know what? That would be like the PLA's version of the Challenger 2, just smaller, slower, and less armored. So, in conclusion, you can't really play this game seriously. You have to realize it is the definition of a gray world. And you just try to enjoy what you can. You just ruin everything, Challenger 2. You just gotta ruin it. Now, what do you think? Comment below. It's not gonna happen, but hypothetically, would you switch the Jaguar Black with the necessary modifications that do happen in Era 3? Just look at how so many of the 105mm boom snouted mediums have almost the exact same boom snout, firing the exact same ammo as their counterparts in Era 2, and yet the penetration and damage do kick up. Well, you can't just turn the knob on the numbers. There you go. And then bring the MBT-70 down with the buffs included. Keep them. Hey, man, that rear of the turret on the MBT-70, that's just ammo, man. That is an ammo rack waiting to happen. And with all the ATGM slingers in Era 2, it is not going to be under the... I mean, hey. I mean, if you think the MBT-70 would be too OP for Era 2, I don't know, check out the Mobat, if you can. Very similar. That's 130mm boom sound, just to remind you. With HE that has 300mm penetration. Ooh, I love that HE with penetration. Oh yeah. Comment. Am I crazy? Or am I not crazy? Because again, we're in a gray world, man. Anything can happen when you blur the lines and bend the rules. So, let me know down below. And I hope you keep your tracks on the ground. RNG's in your favor. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Seriously. Cannot talk about Era 3 without the Challenger 2 being brought up at all.